Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of MRN Out Loud. The Xfinity Series Playoffs get underway this weekend at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and we will talk to a native of that fair city. Noah Gragson will be our guest on the program today. He enters as the 4th seed in the playoffs, 2 wins under his belt so far this season at Junior Motorsports. We'll talk about how he got to this point and what he thinks has helped him so far this season. It's all ahead on this edition of MRN Out Loud. Stay with us.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTire.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Noah Gragson joins us now from Junior Motorsports, and he's headed back to his home track this weekend, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And Noah, going to be a good bit hotter in your hometown this weekend than it was earlier this year when we went. But then you had practice. Things seemed relatively normal, and now the whole world is turned upside down. What are you looking for when you go back home?
Well, that's a good question, Woody. It's definitely going to be great to get back home to my hometown of Vegas and be able to spend time with my family and just get back there. I'm going a few days early, so it'll be nice to be able to relax out there and really just try to get my mind right before we get into these playoffs. It's a challenging racetrack at Vegas with the bumps in turns 1 and 2 and whatnot, but I think we know what we need to accomplish once we get there, and I think we're really prepared. So I'm ultra confident in this team. I'm confident in myself and my ability. I'm confident in the speed of our Bass Pro Shop Camaros. It's gonna be a fun year, and it's been fun up until this point, but it's time to turn it up a notch and really start being aggressive and start attacking on the opportunities. So nonetheless, I'm really excited and very, very confident.
4th seed going into the playoffs. You mentioned you had a good team, Junior Motorsports, one of the top teams in all of the Xfinity Series as you head back home and kick these playoffs off. But something you said there tweaked my interest. You said getting your mind right. And when I talked to you late last year and early this year, you were talking about reading a lot more and getting into some of the mental side of things. What has that done for you? How has that helped you this year? Obviously, you've got a couple of wins and you're in a strong position to enter the playoffs. But just for your state of mind and your personal development, how has that helped?
Well, Woody, it all started with working with Josh Wise early last year, and he's an ex-racer in the Cup Series, and he's done everything in racing. He's a great race car driver, but he's kind of moved on and transitioned into the role of kind of driver coach, trainer. You name it, he does it all for us drivers, and so I'm lucky enough to just be in that program and to be able to lean on him and whatnot. So he really focuses on the mental side of this sport, and it's very, very grueling. Just you have the highs with winning at Daytona to the lows of not knowing if you're going to race next year, and I've been at both those peaks and valleys. So trying to late last year, read more books and try to get my mind right and just be content with myself and be confident, be happy, and just know who I am as a person, as a 21-year-old last year and now a 22-year-old growing up in this world. It's different than all my buddies that I see from back in high school. They're all in college doing their thing, and I'm still growing up, kind of going through those same type of battles of growing up as a young man, and then to put in there being a professional athlete, there's a lot of responsibility with that. So just trying to take it day by day, trying to do my job and be the best that I can be and do everything right has been the main focus for myself. So Josh Wise has been a big supporter of mine and a big help, a great mentor of myself. And so just trying to do everything right and try to get my mind right once we get into this playoffs, because it's definitely a lot of stress that comes along with it, fighting for a championship and being in these playoffs and just trying to do the best job possible. So I'm looking forward to it. I think we're doing everything right, and I'm confident in what we've been able to do so far this year, and definitely excited to see what's to come.
You talked about being in the position of not knowing what you're going to do next year. Now you do. Silly season is obviously in full swing with news coming out about every day, but you were kind of on the front end of it and got your deal done and out of the way. Meanwhile, there were all kinds of rumors flying around about where you might go and who might be here and where. What was the process like for you? Did you ever doubt that you were going to be back at Junior Motorsports, or were there some other things you were interested in and looking at?
You know, my main goal was to get back here in the Xfinity Series for 2021. Next year it'll be my third year in the Xfinity Series, and with the success that we've had so far this year and winning races and running up front, I'm really happy with where we're at as a race team. So, yeah, I didn't really have any other really goal in mind other than to try to get back here to Junior Motorsports. So I'm lucky they've been able to take a big risk in myself as a person and as a driver. And we have great partners with Bass Pro Shop, True Timber, Black Rifle Coffee, and all the puzzle pieces, just they fit together. So I'm really happy with where I'm at as a driver in my career. I'm really happy with our race team, and I just feel at home. It's a family atmosphere here at Junior Motorsports, and to be able to just be happy, that's the main thing for myself. And to be able to run another year in the top 3 levels in NASCAR, it's always been my dream to get here, and to be able to do it again is very exciting for myself, very exciting for my family, my friends, and everybody who's support me along the way. So I'm ready to end this year out strong. Hopefully we can take home that trophy right there and be able to fire off next year. But you know, it's good being able to have our deal done next year and this early in the year and not really have to worry about it. It kind of takes a little bit of that weight off my shoulders. So we're able to focus on what's needed this year and just trying to capitalize on trying to win this championship.
You talked about Vegas earlier. Let's talk about the other 2 races in this opening round. Talladega, everybody says wild card, but you won at Daytona earlier this season, so you know your way around a super speedway. Is that a race that you approach thinking, ooh, I hope nothing bad happens, or, man, we can win this?
Both. Both. That's a great question. Both. I think having that confidence of winning earlier this year at Daytona, it helps me going into this round. But you know best of anybody, there's so many unknowns that can happen at Talladega. There's so many unknowns that can happen at these super speedways, and so you can't count on the past. You can't count on your results in the past. And so yes, I think there is a little bit of unknown going into those races, but also I'm confident in this program at Junior Motorsports. I'm confident of the speeds of our Camaros, and at those super speedways, we run really strong there within the Junior Motorsports camp. I have great teammates with Justin Allgaier, Michael Annette. We're all fighting to get into that next round, but we're going to have to work together once we get to Talladega, and I'm confident that I'll stick with those guys and they'll stick with me out there on the racetrack, and we'll all push each other to be better. So with that being said, I'm definitely confident knowing that I can win at a super speedway, knowing that I need to be aggressive. I need to maximize every side draft. But at the same time, you got to keep yourself out of trouble and you got to finish the race. So definitely both to answer that question.
And then we finish up round 1 with the Roval. When you race on one of those courses, and you've done it a few times this year at Daytona and Indy, do you attack those types of tracks any differently than you would a more traditional road course, like, say, a Road America, or is it kind of road course as a road course?
They're different. Every road course, though, is different. You know, the Roval is kind of more like a street course. You're more up against the inside walls in the corners, and some of the corners throughout the infield, and then it's different throughout the tri-oval. And but I think the approach is the same. I think the fundamentals are the same on the technique of maximizing your brake pressure and stopping the car, trying to focus on getting the drive of the rear tires and launching out of the corners, and how you kind of attack the rights and left turns and trying to flow around those tracks. So we had a great run at the Roval last year. We finished 5th. We've had great runs on the road courses this year, finishing in the top 5. And I think almost all of them, maybe, no, we didn't finish at Road America in the top 5, but Daytona and Indy road course, we were in the top 5. So I definitely have a lot of confidence in our road course program here. I have a lot of confidence in myself as a driver on the road course. And the main mindset is trying to stay out of trouble and make it to the end of the race and stay on the racetrack is the biggest thing. It's a really treacherous track at the Roval. And we saw it last year. A lot of guys went off the track. I went off a track in practice and wrecked the car. That was the first backup car I've ever been to in my career. So that just shows that anything can happen at the Roval, and I think that's what's going to make it so exciting for the race fans.
Absolutely, it should be. Well, Noah, congratulations on a strong season to this point. Good luck in the playoffs, and have a good visit back home, and we'll keep our eye out for you and see how things develop. It's going to be fun to watch for sure.
Sounds good. I appreciate it, Woody.
Sir, are you aware you were going 40 miles an hour? This is a residential area.
Sure, but I'm on my lawnmower? Wait, am I getting a ticket?
No, I've just never seen anyone top 9 miles an hour on one of those bad boys. And mow their entire lawn in 30 seconds? What got into you?
Well, I did fuel up at Sunoco this morning.
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. We've been doing it for American racing for over 50 years. Fuel your best.
That's all the time we've got on this edition of MRN Out Loud. We want to thank Noah Gragson for joining us on the program. Don't forget, our friends at the Performance Racing Network will have the Xfinity and Cup Series races this weekend. We will have race number 2 in the Truck Series playoffs coming up this weekend as well from Las Vegas. Until next week, I'm Woody Cain saying we'll see you right back here for another edition of MRN Out Loud.